She thought her best friend was her lifeline, until she found a secret room full of her own things. Then the world started forgetting her, one login at a time. Turns out her friend wasn't copying her. She was replacing her. And she's done it before. The first time I met Maris, I was bleeding. Not enough to die, but enough that the sidewalk swam under me, and my legs buckled from the panic still crawling up my spine. I'd been attacked. Mugged. My purse stolen, phone shattered, and ribs probably cracked. And out of the chaos she came into focus. She had a calm voice. Warm hands. She wrapped her scarf around my arm like she'd done it before. She knew my name without asking, but I figured maybe I'd said it and didn't remember. The cops were slow. The ambulance slower. But Maris? She stayed. In the weeks after, she became everything. Brought groceries when I couldn't leave the house. Sent check-ins when I couldn't sleep. Listened when I couldn't breathe. She never pushed, never asked for more than I could give. Just sat beside me and let the silence stretch until I was ready to come back. You're the first person who's made me feel safe in months, I told her once. She smiled. That's all I want. She never talked about herself much. Said her life was quiet. Freelance web work. Lived alone. Like plants and old books. Everything about her was soft. Her voice, her clothes, her edges. She became my best friend. The first person I called when I had a nightmare. The only person I let hold me when the panic attacks came back. And then she lost her phone. She called from a different number, apologizing for going silent. Said she must have left it at the cafe. I offered to help look, but she insisted she'd retrace her steps later. That night, I got a text from the number. If you're missing anything lately, you might want to check her house. No name. No context. Just an address. I shouldn't have gone. But I did. Her house was as quiet as she was. Muted tones. Clean surfaces. Too clean. No dust. No shoes out of place. Every book alphabetized, every cabinet shut. Except one. A door at the end of the hall. No lock. Just a soft, familiar creak. The room wasn't empty. There were photos. Of me. Dozens. Hundreds. Some I remembered, me smiling at a park, walking home, sitting on the bus. Some I didn't. Some taken from angles that meant someone had been inside my home. There was more. A box of old receipts. Hair ties. One of my earrings I thought I'd lost at a bar. Even a worn toothbrush. Mine. From an apartment I'd moved out of years ago. And then the list. Type. Pinned to the wall. Project Integration. Phase 1. Initiate contact. Phase 2. Earn trust. Phase 3. Establish need. Phase 4. Eliminate external support. Phase 5. Move in. Phase 6. Dependence. Phase 7. Merge. At the top? My name. At the bottom? Next assessment. Soon. She's almost ready. Behind me the door creaked. And I heard her voice. She stood in the doorway like she belonged there. Like she hadn't just been exposed as something twisted. Something planned. I stepped back. My pulse was a drum in my throat. Maris didn't flinch. She didn't yell. She didn't deny a thing. You weren't supposed to see it yet, she said. You weren't ready. Her voice was still soft. Like this was a misunderstanding. Like I'd stumbled into a surprise party instead of a shrine made of my life. What is this? I asked. My voice cracked. Why do you have this stuff? Why were you tracking me? She took a slow step forward, hands up like I was the one being unreasonable. It's not what it looks like. She looked around the room, her room, my room, whatever this had become, and smiled. It's documentation. Proof. In case something happened to you again. I needed to make sure you were safe. Safe. That word slammed against the walls like thunder. You watched me sleep. I protected you. You broke into my apartment. I checked on you. You kept my toothbrush. You left it. You always forget things. That was when I realized this wasn't about love. Or even obsession. This was about possession. She didn't think she was hurting me. She thought I was hers. I ran. Not out the front. She was between me and the door. I bolted for the back, through the kitchen, down the hallway, out into the garden. I climbed a fence I didn't remember being there, tore my shirt on the way down, and didn't stop until I hit pavement. I flagged the first car I saw. Didn't care that I looked wild-eyed and filthy. The driver didn't either. He saw something in my face that made him unlock the door without a question. I didn't go home. I couldn't. I went to a hotel. Paid in cash. Locked the door. Blocked the door. Sat with my back to it until the sun came up. The next day I went to the police. Showed them the pictures I'd snapped before I ran. Told them everything. The officer took notes. nodded, made the right noises. But then he leaned back and said, "So, just to clarify, she hasn't physically harmed you?" "No, but..." "And you entered her home on your own?" She tracked me for months. She has my things." "Was there a threat made? Something verbal? Explicit?" I stared. They weren't going to help me. Not yet. Not until she did something. I thought maybe she'd back off, that the exposure would snap whatever spell she was under. But it didn't. The next morning, I woke up to a note slipped under my hotel door. Type. Folded. No signature. "I forgive you. You got scared. That's okay. I still love you. You're not alone anymore. You don't have to run. We're almost there. Come back." I tore the note in half. Then quarters. Then eighths. Then flushed it down the toilet and cried until my vision blurred. She was escalating. She didn't see this as rejection. She saw it as a test. I changed hotels. Burned through cash. Told work I needed time off. My boss didn't ask questions. He'd seen the panic in my eyes. I stopped using my credit card. Stopped checking social media. I even turned off my phone for a while. And still, she found ways to remind me. A coffee order delivered to the hotel lobby with my name misspelled the way she always did. A scarf I hadn't seen in years tucked under my windshield wiper. A voicemail from a blocked number that said nothing, just her breathing. Always calm. Always close. One night I found something outside my hotel door. A box. Inside, my favorite sweater, a book I loved in college, and a USB drive. There was a note. A walk down memory lane. "You've forgotten so much. I'm just helping you come home." I should have thrown it away. I plugged it in. Of course I did. The drive contained dozens of folders. Labeled by date. By mood. By behavior. Photos of me laughing. Audio of me crying. Clips of me brushing my teeth. Eating cereal. Watching TV. She had been recording me for years. Even before I knew her name. My healing hadn't started when I met her. It had been interrupted. Every kindness, every comforting word, calculated. Scripted. Measured. She didn't help me recover. She made sure I couldn't without her. I wasn't just her project. I was her blueprint. And she wasn't finished building. It started with a rumor. A friend from work texted me, hesitant, awkward. "Hey, weird question. Were you at the bookshop today? Thought I saw you but you didn't say hi." I hadn't left my hotel in 2 days. Then another message, same vibe, different sender. "Nice sweater yesterday. Didn't know you cut your hair. Looks cute." I hadn't. But Maris had. At first, I told myself it was paranoia. That maybe people were confusing me with someone else. That maybe she hadn't really started wearing my skin like a costume. But deep down, I knew. And then came the security footage. My building manager had always liked me. Old guy, heavy smoker, soft heart. I told him I was dealing with something serious. Showed him a photo of Maris. Said, "If she ever comes by, don't let her in." He blinked, then frowned. "Didn't you already move back in?" He pulled up the footage. There she was. Wearing my clothes. Carrying my tote. Waving politely at the camera and entering with a key she should never have had. She stayed for an hour. Alone. When I got to the apartment, nothing looked disturbed. But I felt it. The shift in air. The faint smell of her, that citrus vanilla lotion she always carried. And then I found it. The photo of me and my mother. Reframed. Behind the frame, a note. "I'm just reminding the space who it belongs to." I tried the police again. Showed them the footage, the letters, the timeline. They opened a report. Told me they'd monitor the situation. That she technically hadn't stolen anything. Except my life. Then my neighbor caught her. Came home early and found someone in the laundry room, folding clothes that weren't hers. Said she smiled. Said she acted like she lived there. When asked her name, she replied, "Don't be silly. You know who I am." The truth crystallized like frost on glass. She wasn't just following me. She was rehearsing me. Practicing. Perfecting. Slipping into spaces I'd abandoned, like a hermit crab stealing my shell. I called my father. Tried to explain. But I could hear it in his voice, the doubt, the discomfort. "Are you sure this isn't stress? You've been through a lot." The worst part wasn't the disbelief. It was the pause afterward. The almost. Like part of him wondered if maybe Maris was telling the truth. If maybe I was the imposter. And then my therapist texted me. "Hey, just confirming your new number. Wanted to follow up on your missed session." I stared at the screen. I hadn't changed my number. And I hadn't missed an appointment. But someone had shown up in my place. Someone who knew everything. That's when I realized she didn't just want to be in my life. She wanted to override it. A full transfer. One day someone would look at her and say, "That's the woman who survived the attack." And they'd forget I ever existed. There's a moment when you feel it, when the erasure becomes real. Not loud. Not violent. Just a series of small, quiet absences that build into a silence big enough to bury you. I tried to order a prescription refill. The pharmacy said they had no record of me. I went to the bank to close an old account. They asked for ID. I gave it to them. They frowned. "This name is flagged for closure." I opened my email. Inbox empty. Calendar blank. And when I called my mother, just to hear her voice, just to confirm I still existed, she didn't pick up. Instead, I got a text 10 minutes later. From her. "Sorry, honey. Was talking to Maris. Thanks again for helping me set up my new laptop." Smiley face. I hadn't done that. But she thought I had. Maris was everywhere. Using my name. Wearing my face. Taking meetings. Posting under my accounts. And no one questioned it. Because she didn't have to be perfect. Just confident. She walked like I used to. Spoke like I wanted to again. Smiled in ways I hadn't since the trauma. To the world I was back. But I wasn't. She was. I tried to scream into the algorithm. Posted warnings. Photos. Video clips. Evidence. But the platform flagged me. For impersonation. "This user has been reported for identity fraud. Your account is under review." My voice, muted. While hers grew louder. I checked my old college alumni page. My profile was updated. Different major. New photo. Link to a blog I'd never written. I checked my LinkedIn. My name, my face. But not my life. The descriptions were hers. Her edits. Her fabricated degrees. And the messages were worse. "Hey, loved your last talk at the conference. You were incredible in that interview." Interviews I never gave. Talks I never attended. She wasn't just replacing me. She was outshining me. I started digging. Not into her present, but her past. And what I found made my skin go cold. A blog archived. Buried deep under an alias I didn't recognize at first. Old posts. Ramblings about loneliness. About becoming someone new. About studying people worth becoming. There were photos. One of a girl named Adrienne. Smiling. Young. Artistic. Then a second photo. Maris. Hair dyed like Adrienne's. Wearing her coat. And a third. Adrienne's missing person poster. From 2015. I found 3 more. Different cities. Different aliases. Each with a woman who disappeared. Each followed by a social media account that reappeared, using that woman's face, voice patterns. Maris wasn't obsessed with me. She collects people. Becomes them. Then deletes the original. Not with violence. With replacement. I packed what little I had left. Left the city. No goodbye. No trace. I changed my hair. My name. My voice. For the first time I was hiding from myself. Because if I didn't become someone new, I'd vanish entirely. And this time, she'd win. But I'm not giving her that ending. I'm writing this. Saving it. Spreading it. Sending it out to anyone who's ever felt themselves being erased. Because the truth is, if you're reading this, you're real. And if someone is trying to take that from you, fight. Even if no one believes you. Even if you don't recognize your own reflection. Even if the world already thinks you're gone. Fight. Because you exist. And some monsters don't need knives to kill you. They just need your name. I didn't want you to find it like this.